The 2014 Ramon Magsaysay Award, Omar Khan Masoudi. The protracted state of war in Afghanistan has exacted a tragic toll not widely recognized. In the midst of decades-long civil strife, the bombings, looting, and willful destruction by the Taliban of what they considered non-Muslim heritage have resulted in the massive loss of priceless historical and cultural treasures. Called the crossroads of civilizations, Afghanistan is a country rich in ancient cosmopolitan heritage of Hellenistic, Hindu, Buddhist, and Islamic cultures. The loss of this heritage is of profound importance to Afghanistan and to the rest of the world. One man has been engaged against great odds in preserving the Afghan heritage for generations present and future. Trained in history, 66-year-old Omar Khan Masoudi became the Deputy Director of the National Museum of Afghanistan in Kabul in 1998. He witnessed the ferocious assault of his country's cultural patrimony. The museum was bombed and looted under the Taliban decree that authorized the destruction of objects considered un-Islamic. The 6th century Buddha statues of Bamyan were rocket blasted, and hammer-wielding Taliban entered the museum, smashing works of art they deemed idolatrous. By the mid-1990s, 70% of the museum's treasures had been destroyed, looted, or lost. At great risk to his life, Masoudi led his colleagues in moving some of the most precious objects, including the world-famous Bactrian treasure of some 20,000 ancient gold ornaments, to the safety of secret vaults deep underneath Kabul's city streets. Their locations were known only to Masoudi and a few others, who swore never to reveal to the Taliban the secret. Forced out of the museum by the collapse of the government, Masoudi stayed in Kabul and supported his family by selling onions and potatoes on the sidewalk, while keeping an eye on the museum. When the Taliban rule ended in 2002, Masoudi returned to the museum. Now appointed as its director, Masoudi faced the Herculean task of rebuilding a damaged and depleted museum. Despite extremely difficult circumstances, he succeeded in resurrecting the collections he and his colleagues had hidden and saved, restoring historical monuments and repairing shattered museum objects. He also successfully negotiated the return of Afghan cultural treasures that had been smuggled to foreign countries and organized international expositions to raise funds and gain support for Afghan culture preservation. For nearly 12 years, Masoudi has supervised the museum's physical rehabilitation, initiated training programs to build a pool of museological expertise, and even upgraded the country's provincial museums. Reopened to the public in 2004, the museum's once depleted collections are now 65,000 items, and up to 25,000 people now visit the museum yearly. Much work still needs to be done, and the political situation in Afghanistan remains fragile. But the National Museum has been amazingly resurrected from the ashes. On a stone in front of the Kabul Museum, these words are encrypted. A nation stays alive when its culture stays alive. Taking these words to heart, Masoudi describes the museum as a storyteller of the past. It tells the story of how, for thousands of years, Afghanistan's culture was enriched by the confluence of civilizations, and how Afghans have used these influence in positive ways, producing high forms of spirituality and great art. Torn apart in recent years by rabid intolerance, Afghans need to listen to this great story. Masoudi says, I'm hopeful that our culture can play a big role in creating space in restoring national unity. In electing Omar Khan Masoudi to receive the 2014 Ramon Magsaysay Award, the Board of Trustees recognizes his courage, labor, and leadership in protecting Afghan cultural heritage, rebuilding an institution vital for Afghanistan's future, and reminding his countrymen and peoples everywhere that in recognizing humanity's shared patrimony, we can be inspired to stand together in peace.